Got your drink?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta water the plants. Crap. Hi, everyone. Happy Hump Day. Mike. It's a whoop whoop. Oh, tell everyone about your race last night.
Already?
Yeah. No,
you just had nothing to talk about, do you? It was fun. So last night we raced on CBS Sports, and I started 13th. So we did a practice race to qualify for this race. We had a race to race.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You didn't fill me in on that part.
I did tell you, but you just didn't hear.
Maybe I just didn't hear.
But anyway, in the practice race, I finished 13th, so that's why I started 13th. Okay.
Just try this.
Okay.
Continue. Sorry, you're drinking. Strong.
That's good.
Yeah.
You put the Mind Health in it?
Mm-hmm.
So started 13th on the bottom, and I went around and I got it up to like 9th in the first lap because everybody went to the top. And then the guy in front of me hit the inside wall, and I had to like kind of check up, go around and broke my momentum. So I went back to like 13th or 14th or whatever. And I started moving around, got back up to 9th. There was some competition yellows. Well, not really. People crashed and then threw the yellow, and then the yellows were extended for commercials.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, they extend the yellows for commercials. We do probably.
You actually have to. So it's legit live.
There's 2 commercial breaks. Yeah, it's legit live. There's 2 commercial breaks. We when we have yellows during the commercial break, instead of it being like 2 or 3 laps, it's 8 laps. Oh. So I gambled on fuel because I knew I wasn't going to use a lot of fuel. We were going to have a lot of caution laps. Wait, even with gambling on fuel, I still had like 5 gallons left at the end of the race.
So, no, just because you have caution laps, you don't burn fuel?
Yeah, so I don't know how it compares to real life, really, because I don't ever cut it this close in real life. But in iRacing, it's really important to be low on fuel because the cars are way faster.
Yes, but
so you track the mileage, and with at full throttle racing around, you might only be able to get, you get at a certain track at full throttle for like 33 laps. I can get 33 laps out of 20 gallons or something like that. So I wouldn't have finished, but with cautions I finish because it doesn't burn as much under yellow, and they count the cautions.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I see. And Logan Schuhart won last night, right?
He did. He did. He practiced hard, and he did a great job.
Sweet. And they like just once iRacing became a thing, they had like just built their setup, right?
Yeah. So Shark Racing, they cut up some old frames. They did a video on that. It was pretty cool. They cut out the cutoff wheels and put together a few different sims because Jacob Allen's on there too.
Yep.
And so Logan had a really good race with Kevin Swindell for the lead. Kevin was right there at the line at the end, so it was a good race. Awesome. Good for TV.
Yeah, I hope you guys tuned in. That was good. So, starting from the top, we got Hello, James, John, Cole, Michael, Jason, Jim, Scott, Corey, Natalie, Richard, B and Fatboy 14, Jason, John, Jason, Prometheus, Jarrett, Jerry, Andrew, Kim, John, James, Darren, James, Mike, Andrew, Jason, Steven, Dirty Fabrication. Boom. Hello, everyone.
I like how some people have names and some people just have like, I'm Dirty Fabrication.
You raced.
What kind of dirty fabrication do you do?
You raced with Juan Pablo Montoya?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yep. And in our practice race, Juan was kind of blinking. I think he had a bad connection. I had no idea where he was going. They got it fixed, though, for the real thing. I think, anyway.
Says CBS coverage wasn't good. You need to get them a picture. A picture of what? We didn't see the coverage part.
What do you mean it wasn't very good?
I don't know. That's what Jerry said. I'm just reading what they're
picture.
telling me. A picture.
There's lots of pictures. Here, I'll show you some pictures. I'll pull it up right here.
So
there's a picture.
They take pictures.
Yeah, they take. Yeah, they have. They got photographers of the racing action.
Do they have can you see the photographers on the racetrack flashing their lights when you're in the turns?
I've never really paid attention.
Yeah, you would.
But it'd be cool. It'd make it really realistic if right when Kevin Swindell was coming up on
and they go blink, blink,
on
blink,
Logan
blink.
Schuchart, all of a sudden it's just like flash, flash, flash. Oh, he knows he's coming. But we have mirrors on iRacing, which is not realistic. And spotters. We have mirrors and spotters.
I never thought about that. That photographers, say you've got this great big lead and all of a sudden, second place comes creeping up behind you, and really the photographers almost kind of give it away when they start flashing the
pictures. They give it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
I never thought about that.
You better step your game up when they start taking pictures.
It's not look pretty, it's someone's behind you.
Yeah.
That's great. I never thought of that. So John Doe says, I have played dirt track racing sprint cars. High five. Me too. But never iRacing. Can you explain the similarities and differences between the two?
Dirt track racing, sprint cars, track's always kind of wet, tacky. Mm-hmm. The track doesn't wear away. iRacing has a program where you can set the track state at 0 where it's tacky, and then it goes away from there, or you can just start the race off slick.
Yeah. Okay.
And it goes, and the more cars that are in the event make it slicker. Mm-hmm. So that makes it much more realistic to dirt racing, that you have to search around. If the track's blown off and all there is a little brown by the wall, you better be up on the wall or you're going to be really slow. The lap times change a ton from that as well. That
makes sense. Okay, I'm bouncing.
Okay.
The usual. Darren said, because I was wondering why Schuchart's setup looked so fancy. He was in the CBS studios.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because normally he'd be in the shop.
Yeah.
With his frame, but
gotcha.
They had a couple people. Each time, I think they've had somebody in the studio,
would that been North Carolina?
so that the announcers can talk with them.
So it had been North Carolina. Is the studio in North Carolina?
I guess so. I don't know where it is.
Some quarantining they're doing. Jeez, guys.
Where's CBS Studios?
Yeah.
Jason asked PS4 versus PC. Gotta have a PC.
So where did you go? BN Fat Boy 14 said, is there a reason that sometimes the Hoosier tires are mounted with the white letters facing outward versus them facing inward?
Okay, so guys, when they make the tires, there's a guy that just picks a side and paints that white lettering on there. It doesn't make any difference whether it's on the outside or not. So maybe you like the white letters out, maybe you don't. Pick and choose whatever you like.
And there's actual we went into the one. I don't know how different Hoosier and American Racer are from each other, but it's neat seeing the process from where the tire starts to when it ships out the door. But each step of that tire, there is someone handling that tire. It's not all just magical machinery doing it.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how much more it would cost for them to paint both sides.
It's a good question.
My theory is that they don't paint both sides because then they think people will think, well, you can't flip them over.
That's true. I want to be the person that shaves what's the proper word, and I'm not going to say it. The stubs on the tread.
Oh, the tits.
Well, I didn't know.
I calling them the tits.
That's what they are. Okay.
You gotta grind those tits.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I want to be that person that just spins and it's just flies off.
If you're in the dairy business, you can call them teats.
Teats. Okay. Well, I was trying to be proper. I didn't know if there was another word for it.
The really long ones, those are udders.
Yes. Oh, jeez. Those are the fun ones to pool. Like someone missed a spot when they were shaving. Jerry says you were the only driver without a headshot.
I don't have a headshot. Why didn't they ask me for a headshot? I can give them a headshot.
Yeah.
How did they not ask me for a headshot?
Take a screenshot
Come on.
right here. Give him a headshot.
That's not cool. Nobody told me I needed a headshot.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Would have been nice.
Jeez. Larry asks, Mike, do you or your crew check the spark plugs? Also, is there a specific plug you use? NGK V59YC or something. I don't know, something like that. I can't remember the part numbers that well, but the spark plug's determined by the cylinder head and the piston. The engine builder usually tells us what plug to run. We rarely change the heat range unless it looks like the firing, like when you read the plug, if it looks wrong, I'll ask them and they'll say, well, maybe you should go to this plug to up the heat range or something like that, but rarely. Most of the time, just replace them every like 700 laps or so. Or else, like, if it was running really rich and they get fouled or something. But reading the plug is a good way to check your fuel mixture, see if there's something wrong with your fuel system. If it's extremely rich, that's abnormal, then maybe you have a problem with your carburetor, like a power valve, blown power valve, or something like that.
Yeah, we need to put in a complaint because a lot of people actually watched. I should take out. Actually, a lot of you guys watched the race last night, and everyone says everyone had a picture but you. I think it's a propaganda. We need to protest. It's baloney.
Disappointed.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm in there in the iRacing room. I don't have any clue what was going on with the broadcast.
No, and we don't get TV here, so I only saw like a few things that were tweeted, but we have no idea what the race looked like.
Yeah.
Eddie asks, "What's the best address to send mail to you and Mike?" I don't mind sharing on here.
Adirondack Auto. If you can look it up on Google,
or you can just do that. That's fine too.
7440 U.S. Route 9, Elizabethtown, New York.
12932. You got it memorized.
There's the address.
There you go. Just look up Adirondack Auto in Elizabethtown. Attention.
And while you're there,
Mandy though. Attention, Mandy, not Mike.
If you need a car, truck, or Jeep, we got them in stock.
Are tires directional? Asks Nick.
Some tires are directional. I'm going to get this wrong, but I believe it's bias ply tires are directional. I don't know.
Never heard of
but anyway, the tires that we use on our cars are not directional, but some are.
Fred Winna asks, how did you learn the tips to mount tires on wheels? And if you watch tomorrow's video on Mandy's learning of how Mike mounts and dismounts, I haven't done it that way before.
Yeah, the way I do it just comes from trial and error. I've mounted. I would not know how many tires and wheels I've mounted.
But how did you learn?
My dad showed me when I was like 10, but I don't do it the way he showed me anymore. I changed because after you do 1,000 of them, you decide, well, it'd be better to do it this way for me because I'm left-handed, or it'd be better to do it this way because the bead lock lines up better. I don't know. Just when you struggle with enough bent wheels and with the zerts falling out and just problems with stuff all the time, you learn what to do and what not to do. So in that video, I'll tell you all about it when it comes out.
I had to cut out the few times when we were complaining to each other because our great not parenting, but teacher student.
I'm not very patient with my students.
which is very
as you'll
surprising.
see.
It's very surprising.
I just want him to shut up and listen.
You would never be a good teacher.
No.
So Mike asks, do you prefer racing in hot weather or cooler weather?
Cooler weather. The track holds the moisture better when it's cooler. When it's hot, dries out, dusty, not good.
Let's see.
Hot days are better for, you might as well. Well, like this year, we'll be racing when it's hot. I'll be happy about it. But last year, I would have rather been like, you know what? It's too hot today. Let's go to the beach. Because, it'd be better to race when it was cooler.
Yeah.
Right,
So Norman asks, do you prefer half a mile track or do you prefer shorter tracks between like the difference of grinding?
Shorter tracks. 3/8 miles is perfect size. Anything over half a mile is all about the motor and not the driver and the setup. And well, unless you got a full field of guys that all have really good motors, which is rare. Bull rings put it more in the driver's hand. And like, I don't know, when you get it to like 3/8 miles with banked turns, you end up with really good racing. That's what I like.
Okay. Okay. William Byron didn't have a headshot either, so thank you, Matthew.
William Byron, and the NASCAR driver, did not have a headshot. How did they not have one for him?
Seriously.
He threw a really dirty slider on me last night. I was not happy with William Byron, but it's all good fun.
Okay, here we go. Patrick asked, does the track you're running determine where you place weights on your car, and do you have a preference on where you put your weights if needed?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the more weight I can move around, the better, because it does affect the handling of the car a lot. And but it's tricky because you'll find that, like, for instance, you could put weight in the back and it can give you better traction, but it can also make the car loose. You put it in the back because it swings out. You can put weight in the front and it can help you turn, but it can also make you tight because the front slides out because there's so much weight up there. So it's a real tricky balance on that. But
actually, not fun, but ironic question, because I was going to bring this up. Bill asked me, how have your sales been affected by COVID-19? Surprisingly, they haven't been affected. With Arbonne, what I sell is what you guys are using every day. We might not be showering as much every day, but people are still using shampoo and conditioner and face wash and toothpaste and deodorant and their vitamins and all that stuff. So really, it hasn't been affected bad. But speaking of, since it's the end of the month, and I love you guys dearly, and I know you guys have had some interest and questions on the products. If you want, I usually don't offer this, but if you want to try any of our products, just shoot me a Facebook message and I'll give you a special discount. Facebook message me, Facebook message Mike. But it is the end of the month, so what's then tomorrow? It'll be good until tomorrow night. Short term. So like 24, 30 hours. I don't know what the difference is on that. But basically, we have everything from skincare, fizz sticks, nutrition, our 30-day program I'm sure you've seen us do. And actually, I thought about that earlier today, is that Mother's Day is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you got mothers out there.
If you guys are bored in the house board, you you need to you need to have some fizz sticks and play some board games.
Yeah, well, I don't sell board games, but I do sell the fizz sticks. So if you are interested in some of the products, seriously, reach out to me, any social media platforms. Good till tomorrow night. I'll hook you guys up. And we can all have fizz sticks together at our lunchtime talk shit. It'll be great. Let's see. Let's see. That's a tough question. Mike and Mandy, who do both of you honestly think is the most talented driver to ever strap in a dirt modified?
Mandee Pauch. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's like, it's undefined because,
I feel
this
like-
guy's better here and that guy's better there.
Yeah,
And I hate these
we've
types of
discussed this,
questions
haven't
because
we?
it's an impossible answer.
Yeah, because they
I
could
think
be.
there's a bunch of drivers that belong in the Hall of Fame and they're there.
Mhm.
Some are on their way there.
I like when they're versatile, but there's a few of them. I mean, that too is you can't really pinpoint from like drivers that were in the 60s and 70s to now because so much has changed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mandy's dad's in the Hall of Fame. He definitely belongs there.
what Hall of Fame? Oh, the Dirt Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and Brett Hearn's going in this year.
Mm.
Right now, the two that are like at the top of the like dirt modifieds that you watch, I would think are Matt Shepard and Stuart Friesen, and there's no doubt in my mind that they end up in the Hall of Fame at the end of their career.
Absolutely,
because they've won an insane amount of races.
What track is it? I saw that. I think it's Orange County. Are they? Well, they were supposed to. I think it might have been Orange County that I saw. I think that I don't know, and now I'm backtracking myself. Is that people need to recognize drivers and owners' achievements or whatever before they're gone. So that's like I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Like they need to be there for the party.
Yeah, I think exactly.
Like having a funeral for someone is kind of
all these people show up.
It's a little late because you should have the party before that.
Yes, yeah. But then if I were to look at it from my dad's point of view, I feel like he'd appreciate it, but then I also feel like, oh, what? I'm getting old, like that kind of feeling.
Shouldn't feel that way.
I don't know.
He's there because he earned it.
Yeah.
I mean, he won 700 and I don't know how many, 50, 700 and a lot.
Yeah, 700 and a
races.
lot. But I do because I'm pretty sure it was. I had seen on the schedule. I wanted to say that. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Middletown. I think had something for Jimmy Horton scheduled this year, which he deserves it. So I think that's cool. Someone
sent me my stats the other day. I won 50 races.
Someone actually has stats of you?
It's on Race Stat Central.
Oh. But is that in what divisions?
I think it's in modifieds.
Modifieds,
mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I don't think it includes like, micro sprints or stuff like that. Or sprint cars. But,
well, yeah, they definitely
so it's like 50 modified wins. I got a long ways to go.
But we got some space to do,
Yeah.
Someone really should have been tracking it. Come on, Kathy, you weren't tracking this stuff? Where
she
are you,
does.
girl?
She every Christmas she makes me
it's upstairs.
A book with pictures and like newspaper clips from the area auto and stuff from like all of our wins and stuff from the year. So there is some documentation there from each year.
So basically, for when we have children, when they start racing, we have to start collecting their stats.
We're gonna be those parents. All right.
I mean, it would be cool to know. I'm not going to be the parent.
It would be cool.
That creates an Instagram account for their 5-month-old child. That I'm not going to do. I'll keep stats. We can do stats. I like stats. I'm not good with numbers, but I like stats. I can easily do that on Excel. That I can handle. Okay. Oh, Darren asks, since you two eat well and are in great shape, what is your favorite junk food? I could so go for chips and dip right now.
Chips and dip. I was expecting her to say ice cream, weren't you guys?
I don't consider that junk food. That's like a
that's not junk food to her. That's just her regular indulgence. For me, I don't know I don't know what I would pick. It's definitely like peanut butter or something. Whether it be peanut butter on ice cream or peanut butter cups or a peanut butter sandwich. It's all good.
Anything peanut butter, you and your peanut butters. I like the wavy potato chips with is it sour cream and onion dip?
Yeah, those are really good. Dip? They're good.
I could eat the whole
hell of a good.
Hell of a good? Yes, hell of a good. Oh, let's talk something more important, like the chipmunk, says Richie. Well, you see now. Okay. We have a new squirrel and our chipmunk. And the chipmunk's been awfully needy. And no matter how many times I grease that pole, he still gets up it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty nifty.
Hey, Patrick asked, do you think that modified should go to either Super Dirt Series or a Short Track Super Series, or continue to have both series? And I'm an advocate of having both series. I think that there's both room in the schedule for both. Having both creates more events with more money for the drivers to race, more events for the fans to go watch, and competition between the two series brings the purses up because they fight with each other for the best, most paying race, which is great. It's become to where we're getting better purses than we had in the past, and that was a big problem for years.
You need competition in our industry.
In racing, there has to be competition. It's all about competition.
Can't be just one.
But I also believe that the same is true. You need that for tires and for fuel and for chassis manufacturers and parts and everything, because otherwise the prices would just be ridiculous.
So this is a unique one. We're talking kids here. John asked, if you two had kids or have, would you prefer they take after me or you?
They have to take both. I mean, I hope that they take after me and don't leave the dishes in the sink. But I hope they're a much better cook like you. And
those are the traits we're thinking of right now. Those are the traits.
And I hope that they have a sense of almost like a real strong confidence like you do, but also are self-aware like me.
Yeah, we really would make either a really good combination of a child or
else just a super cocky something.
Yeah, it's gonna be dangerous. Like that's
don't really know.
And stay tuned.
That's scary. That's a scary situation.
Yeah. We gotta babysit here, guys.
Jerry Davis asks, is there a big points payoff in those series? Yes, there is. There's a big points payoff in both series. They both pay great. So last year, I think Matt Williamson took home $35,000, somewhere around $35,000 from Dirt Car Series, and Matt Shepard earned $50 from the Short Track Super Series. Yeah. So
that was both North and South.
Because he won. Yeah, he won both. Each one was, I think, 10, like 7,500 to 10,000. And then there's if you won both, you got a big bonus. So he did that and got the big bonus. Well, Jason says it was actually 57,000.
Oh, I should have known that.
So that's a lot.
John's getting to know us really well. He said that they would be racing, the kids, but they'd be racing but forget what they were thinking about.
Oh no. That's not good.
I'd be the one racing, looking at the photographers in the infield.
Yeah. Be looking.
That's so spot on. Oh my gosh.
Patrick asks, what attracts you to a certain track or certain race? Is it purse or just that another track is running that you're committed to? And how does scheduling get conflicted between owner and driver? That is a great question. So 2 tracks are racing. One's paying more than the other, but the one that pays more is harder on tires and it's harder on the motor and it's farther away from the shop, and it's not always like what it pays to the winner either. Like The other one might pay better for 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Might pay better for 5th.
Yeah.
Might pay better just to show up and start. So it's just like they use the winner's payoff as an advertisement often. That it's a lot like advertisements you see on TV. Like, this is a deal, but I mean, it's only the deal if you win. So which we're there to win. But
absolutely,
you don't, like, if you look at the winning percentage of most drivers, it's
how
like
much,
it's down under 10%.
Did you mention like how much it is to start? Did you mention it? Does it matter?
Yeah, it matters what it is to start. It matters if there's bonuses or if they're, when the sponsors put up this extra money on the side, that it all adds up to something. And so it means a lot when people chip in and make it worth your while. Because, and especially, like I said, tracks that are harder on the car, we really need that to compensate for the cost. Other tracks that maybe they do pay a little bit less than the other guy, but if it's easier on the motor and easier on tires and the car, then it makes sense because your costs go down. Mm-hmm. So you got to look at all the factors.
Yep. So Jason White said he made a wingless sprint car for you? He
did. It's
where are you racing that at?
It's on iRacing.
Oh, I figured that.
So I don't know. You have to have your license pretty high to race the 410 wingless sprints. I think I'm a C. I think my license is a C. I don't race enough official races. I've been just doing all these like TV races. They don't count. They don't count towards your license. Well, if they were official, everybody's license would be in the gutter because they're crashing so much that they'd get a lot of incident points.
True. Sorry about that.
But yeah, so I don't know if I can even race that car in an official race, but I could race it in a TV race.
Oh, okay.
Because the licenses don't matter.
I'm excited to see it. All right. If there's anything else, Michael, you'd like to add, I'd like to go have our lunch.
Oh, Coal Polishing and Detailing asks, Mike, do you prefer small block or big block? I like a little bit of both. I really like the big block when the tracks are heavy and there's bite. And I really like the small block when they're slippery. If that answers your question.
Thank you.
So thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, come back next time, and enjoy your lunch.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, enjoy lunch tomorrow.
No, you didn't come back next time. I said tomorrow.
Yeah, come back tomorrow.
we really will never get this, the closing. We're always so awkward. It's great. Anyway, so what he said, we'll be back tomorrow, whatever time zone you're in. They could be having breakfast where they are.
Really? Didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm. We shouldn't call it lunchtime because technically it should be food time. Food time with M&M.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. See you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, you took my word.
What?
See ya. I say see ya.
Bye, guys. Stay safe.